since I think this was actually true. What I am going to talk about today, anyway, bring up some key points. Today, I just want to talk about, I haven't uploaded in a minute. Yesterday, I recorded a video, but I was just straight rambling about whatever came to my mind without any sort of direction. And that just wasn't good. Now I got a key point card where I'm able to touch on the things that actually are important. Today's video is about being a follower of Jesus, right? And so this in the sense of this is what I've learned. Most of the stuff I got and that I'm gonna be talking about is stuff that I read in the Bible and stuff that I just learned through my experience in life and understanding how to truly be a follower of Jesus. There are three things. In this video, I'm only gonna be talking about two of them. The first two that I'm going to be touching on this video on is faith. Sorry, not faith. I'm going to be talking about forgiveness and love. And then the third one is faith. Those are the top three: forgiveness, love, and faith. And forgiveness and love, they tie very closely together. But forgiveness is such a key point. I want to give it its own piece to the puzzle. Anyway, number one is the foundation. The foundation, which is love, right? In the Bible, obviously there's so many different stories in the Bible. What I'm trying to talk about is the teachings of Jesus, right? And the thing being, the main message, of course, being love. Do not forget that, all right? This is very important. Obviously, that's the main message above all things. So one of the things I do want to talk about that I didn't really put in the key points card is the importance of love and loving everybody. That's the thing Jesus constantly preached. We don't discriminate based off oh, this person hates Christians. This dude hates me. This dude hates my family. It doesn't disqualify them from being able to see the love and the light that I'm able to provide for them. And so I think that's just the main example where Jesus says, love your enemies. And as hard as that can be. But I think the reason behind that is a lot of times, all right, we might take it as love your enemies. Just forgive them. Doesn't matter what they did, just forgive them. But I think that he tells us this in order for us to preserve ourselves. For if I were to keep resentment towards a certain person and not even offer a single ounce of my love to them or anything like that, then I'm not being a true reflection of Christ. And so I tell you this because in my life, I've held resentment towards many people. And I found, obviously, that it didn't do me no good. It just takes up more of my own energy just for me to feel this sort of major emotion of anger towards this other person. It doesn't help me in any kind of way. That's the importance of love. And like I said, I think he means it in a way to preserve our own self. This lady goes, today I decided, she says, today I decided to forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because my soul needed peace. And I heard that and I was like, as it doesn't sound like anything crazy, but it is. Today I decided to forgive you. And when I heard that, I thought of people. If you hold resentment toward yourself, this doesn't not apply to you. This applies to any sort of resentment you feel towards anybody or anything. Everything. Forgive. Okay? Not for them. Somebody can do the worst of the worst things to you. But like I said, what kind of person does that make you when you allow somebody else's actions to control you? That's one of the major lessons in that granted me peace. Because my soul needed the peace. I'm not forgiving you because you deserve it, but I'm forgiving you because I need it. All right? And so I think that's one of the main foundations of forgiveness. And I think that's the importance of it. Is a lot of people don't want to forgive. And they don't know it, but that's costing them. I don't want to stick too long on that, but that's the main point. Love, right? Love. Love another as a reflection of Christ. Man, because if somebody's out here messing like with me or something, and I choose to be angry with them and all that bad stuff, what does it show about my belief? Like, if somebody's like, I've had friends, like people that I consider friends, and they told me like, yo, like you're a follower of Christ. Why? Or you call yourself a Christian, Catholic, and you do all these things. You say things that aren't very family friendly. I say things, I do things, obviously my actions and my words, and they don't think that they really apply to what my religion says. And I go say, yeah, like I'm not perfect. And I think you find a lot in yourself when you like look at it, because like I'm not as bad as I used to be, but it took me learning. Like I respect like that they called me out on that, but it made me mad. And I thought, man, like I looked at my situation. I was like, if I'm not really reflecting that in my actions or the things that I say, obviously still to this day, I'm not perfect. I say things that I probably shouldn't be saying, but in the end, like I know God forgive me. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's mainly about. As long as your intentions stay pure, and if by any sort of means your actions didn't really match your intentions, know that God forgives you. And I think that's one of the major things is that if God can forgive us for anything that we do, why can't we forgive others? It's in that prayer, the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us of our trespasses the same way we forgive those who trespass against us. God forgives us. So we need to do the same and forgive other people. And we can't judge other people. I wrote this. I already touched on like the first three key points that I wanted to cover. The fourth one being the purpose of healing. God's love can heal that brokenness, and he calls us to take his love out into the world and be the same light for other broken people. In order to be a follower of Christ, I think he calls us to be like him. He set us these examples of how to love. One of the main commandments, all of the 10 commandments, all basically are meaning the same message in love God, or follow God, respect God, be like God. And they say, love God above all things. And what's the biggest example or the biggest way to show that you can do that? And that's by following the other commandment that Jesus has laid down for us. Love one another the same way he has loved us. That's huge. Because I noticed this very important thing. We're all broken people. Nobody is perfect by any means necessary. We all have our traumas in life. We all carry our own wounds as we grow. It's inevitable. You can't do anything about it. We're nurtured in this world, and then we're nurtured to become the way that we are. Nobody's perfect in that sense. So some people lie more than others because they were taught that maybe through life that if they lie, they're able to escape certain situations. This comes from me. Maybe people have been abused. We all have our traumas and our wounds growing up. But the thing is, God calls us and gives us the remedy. That's love. Like whenever you finally feel that kind of love, whether it's like from a mom, from a dad, from a friend, from a brother, sister, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, it heals something in you. Whenever you find self-love, it heals something in you. And that goes to show the power that love holds. And I think that's the main message that God was trying to give us, is that above all things, love one another. And I promise whenever you love one another, you'll save yourself a lot of time, a lot of problems. Doesn't mean that problems won't come. They're inevitable. Like I said, it's a part of life. Right? Right. Two more things. Two more things I just want to touch on. One being, this is for like my people out there who struggle to love themselves, right? If you have that self-love, you respect yourself. This is something I touched on too. Do not ever confuse self-love with ego. They're two different things. Self-love is gonna, in turn, damage your environment. Because when you have an ego, people who actually do respect themselves won't be around you. And whenever you lack people that don't respect themselves around you, in turn, your environment is gonna come back to bite you in the butt. Self-love are for those people who are able to love themselves enough to control the environment that they're in, so they don't stand for some BS. So this person doesn't respect me. And what does that say about me if I'm openly choosing to hang out with this person who doesn't respect me? And so that's the difference, is that the person that you choose to be, whether it's a person who loves themselves or a person with the ego, one of those two, it dictates your environment. And your environment plays a huge role in you. Like today I learned about microeconomics. Everything, like one little trickle thing is going to trickle down to the next thing. And that thing's going to change this thing. And that thing is going to cause this problem. And that's going to cause this other problem. And then it's like a full circle. And it's going to come back to bite you. So the same thing applies to ego and self-love. If you have an ego, that's going to affect your environment, and the environment is going to eventually come back around to bite you. If you have self-love, it's going to dictate your environment, and you're going to get the positive effects of it. You're going to dictate your environment to hang around people who actually do help you. And those people will come back around you and dictate the type of person that you will be in the life that you will live. I struggled for the longest time to find self-love. I just struggled to love myself. But I learned that you can't love others until you love yourself. It starts with forgiving yourself. I've done a lot of bad things in my life. I've done things that I regret. And for the longest time, I couldn't forgive myself. But when I finally realized that if God can forgive me, if other people can forgive me, why can't I forgive myself? And then when I finally forgave myself for something and I was able to feel the peace that it brought me, I was able to realize that, man, I need to finally just start forgiving myself and get over things. And I think forgiveness is a true sign of love. Because when you forgive somebody, love usually prospers. Realize that, like, when you get in an argument with somebody that you say that you love, and then you both choose to forgive each other, that's a major sign of love. I feel, because think about it, like whenever you get in an argument with your sibling, your mom gets y'all together and is, you two work this out and better figure out how to be brothers again or be sisters or something, be siblings again. And then y'all finally make a joke and you're like, you know, and then you forgive each other and move on. And then you realize, man, that connection, that situation brought us closer. And I think it's the same way with ourselves. Whenever you choose to forgive yourself, it grows your relationship with yourself. Now I found that to be vital to becoming somebody better. And I think that's vital for anybody if they want to become better. That you can't hold that resentment toward yourself. And like I said, you can't love another person if you don't love yourself. Like I said, there's one more thing. Faith. That's a video for another day because I could talk about that for a long time. And there's a lot of little things in it that I want to be able to discuss deeper. But this is my landing, is that if there's a world that's full of evil, by choosing love, I'm choosing to show more good. Because I have the opportunity to give forgiveness and love in a world full of resentment and hatred. And that is powerful. So that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. I honestly don't want to hold my last video that I recorded before this. I was just been yapping and yapping, basically about the same thing. I feel like I kind of was doing that in this video too, and that's okay. I'm growing and I'm learning and doing all this stuff, and it's like I'm trying to take this more serious and trying to be able to provide some sort of good for the world and for people that need it. For me, faith is one of the biggest things in my life, and I have to. I'm trying to grow my understanding of it. And I found this is honest truth. Like I found peace through Christ. And that might sound kind of cliche because you hear people say this all the time and you're like, oh, I'm like tired of hearing these people's testimonies. I've met people who they genuinely do resent God because they blame him for all of the bad things in their life. But when things actually start working out for them, as things start being good, they don't blame him for any of that. No, I just don't think that's fair. I've been arrested. I've been caught up in a lot of stuff. And I used to think, man, my life sucks. This sucks. But in the long run, I became somebody that I can actually kind of be proud of. And if I'm going to blame God for all the bad things in my life, then I need to blame him for the good things too. Because that's not fair. Anyways, that's from my understanding as a teenager. I think I got a pretty fair understanding. And it's only continued to grow and grow. And eventually I want this podcast, this video, this brand to be able to be me interviewing other people. And then like I see these other people like Chris Williamson and Diary of a CEO, and they have these solo episodes where they just discuss things that they've learned themselves. Sometimes it's just things that they learned from interviewing other people. And I hope to also be able to expand this brand to do the same thing. But I want to interview people that I actually know have some good information in them that will be able to provide value to the people in the world. Because I know everybody in this world connects in some sort of way. We all have our struggles. Like I said, we're all broken people. And if I'm able to at least show my love in some kind of way, then let this be. Let this be that. And I like this. I want it. Like, I can make money out of this. Amazing. And if not, then I just like doing it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm Yandel Muniz, and I love you. God bless.